Abilify helps control symptoms of bipolar mania.
Ask your doctor about Effexor XR.
Paxil, the most prescribed medication of its kind.
Prozac Weekly is here. Zoloft, a prescription.
Serafen.
PMDD.
And psychiatrists and drug companies don't hype psychiatric drugs only to fellow prescribers. They also pitch them straight to the end user, you, counting on you to walk into their offices and demand a prescription.
The direct-to-consumer advertising is instilling the notion in every human being that something is mentally wrong, something needs correction. That drives people to see a psychiatrist to help to mitigate this by dispensing the medication, by dispensing a drug that they have had pushed on them on countless television ads, countless magazine ads, and countless print ads that say, hey, there's something wrong with you, go get help for it.
Nowhere is this explosion of direct-to-consumer advertising more obvious than on television. It wasn't always this way. Until recently, advertising psychiatric drugs on TV was severely restricted. But in 1997, the FDA was persuaded to relax their rules on advertising in the media, in direct violation of Article 10 of an international treaty signed at the United Nations.
Every 5 minutes there's a new drug ad. And this is not by accident, this is cold, canny, scientific design.
Ads are fundamentally of two types. One type of ad is a effort to try to get the patient to take the drug company's drug.
Abilify helps control symptoms of bipolar mania and reduce...
But then the second kind of direct-to-consumer advertising is the you're sick and you didn't know it advertising.
You could be suffering from generalized anxiety disorder.
Because they want to create sales, so what they're going to do is tell people, do you have these symptoms? Do you have this disease? Do you have this particular condition?
But they hit it so hard on television that people say, ask your doctor, ask your doctor. Every commercial is a referral to the doctor. See, they're working for each other.
Ask your doctor about Cymbalta. Depression hurts. Cymbalta can help.
I can go to my doctor and say, here are my symptoms, and walk out with the prescription I want. I can ask for a drug by name, and most of the time I'll be given the drug. So basically I'm my own doctor.
The industry defends what it's doing by saying this is some kind of public health education campaign. And I'm sorry, I think if you go to an advertising agency, you're advertising.
From the start, advertising psychiatric drugs on television has been phenomenally successful. In just the first 3 years, sales of psychiatric drugs skyrocketed by 250%. With grosses now hitting record levels, the drug industry is spending $2.9 billion a year in TV advertising alone. And once this drives people into the offices of psychiatrists, they can be hooked using another marketing ploy: free samples.
The industry is willing to give out millions of dollars worth of free samples because it generates billions of dollars in sales.
You want a prescription and you want Prozac written forever as a maintenance therapy. So you establish that with some free Prozac up front.
Here, take this sample, it doesn't cost you anything, and then if you like it or if it seems to work, then we'll make a prescription, but you're going to have to pay for that prescription. The sample is free. So it's really a marketing technique.
They got a cash cow. Zero refill means you've got to go back to the doctor for another consultation, for another subscription, and it just goes forever. This is business. This is money.
Some direct-to-consumer marketing is camouflaged as public information. Psychiatrists regularly appear in the media, warning the public of the latest mental illness epidemics and hawking their latest breakthroughs. They write articles planted in newspapers and magazines that further their mental health awareness campaigns. Even patient advocacy groups claiming to offer unbiased information on psychiatric drugs are, upon closer inspection, pharmaceutically funded front groups managed by psychiatrists.
They were started specifically by the industry themselves, and the public isn't informed of that. You know, it's basically a great big lie to the public that they think they're going to a charitable organization that has their best interest at heart.
Case in point, children and adults with attention deficit disorder, or CHAD, the biggest and most well-funded front group for the makers of stimulant drugs. Stephen Plog is a former CHAD executive.
When I became the CHAD coordinator for Las Vegas, they gave me a manual, and in it said, we want to provide unbiased information to help and support people who have ADD. For the next 30 days, we put 22 parents and their kids on a program with lab tests to find out what their causes were, eliminated their causes, they got prescription-free, medication-free, side-effect-free, and they got better with their self-esteem, and they became actually happier, healthier, more successful. CHAD found out about this, called me up and says, we do not allow people to talk about nutrition in any of our seminars. We only prescribe going to a psychiatrist who will only prescribe drugs and therapy. So they said you can no longer work with us, and they fired me for simply recommending that parents go get a lab test, find out what the causes are, and eliminate the causes. They do not allow that. They only allow medication and psychiatric treatment.
Psychiatric patient advocacy groups also promote psychotropic drug treatment by broadly issuing public marketing surveys disguised as medical questionnaires.
You can take a survey of maybe 16 questions. And if you are a normal human being who's lived through ranges of emotions of normal life experience, if you've known the exhilaration of the birth of a child, a niece, a nephew, and the devastation of a divorce and the loss of dreams, and answer honestly to those questions, you will diagnose yourself as bipolar. And the instructions that come back along with the diagnosis or the warning that you're probably bipolar say, print this out and take it to your doctor.
Like yayo, move out my way slow, although a nigga fear of death. I don't wanna go quick to collide with my enemies and fake ass friends. I mean, not putting in a dime, but drinking all my Hennessy. My memories serve me perfectly. You wanna be like me, getting props for your raps and a salary. Is it vain of me to get paid for poetry and spend a little money without foes putting holes in me? I'm looking for a change and I am changing for myself. I'm hoping this could be my time. I'm waiting for myself. Is it 'cause I told her strap a lot, smoke weed a lot, break down my Glock in 20 seconds and hang out with Jackpot? Shake the spot before it gets hot. Prefer to use a revolver 'cause all the automatic shells drop. Can't detect the quicker cop, don't want man to stop and love to bump hip hop louder when my tops drop. Usually the one behind the pops, the rain down your block, infesting the whole hood with cops. I'm looking for a change and I am changing for myself. I'm hoping this could be my time. I'm waiting for myself. Lights count down, you're like 60 seconds from the ground. Your name might spread all over town. You were the big cheese, but now you on your knees begging please. Praying my tech trigger don't squeeze. Your heartbeat repeatedly. Playing the role like you ain't noticed me. Now you lay at the mercy of my poetry until the punishment becomes managed. Your lungs collapse, heart stop, and your breathing vanish. I'm looking for a change and I am changing for myself. I'm hoping this could be my time. I'm waiting for myself. I'm doing 60 down the one-way, burning hay, counting money that I made that day, just loading up my AK. The skies are gray, man, these streets don't play. But Kane is so sweet, it's giving tooth decay. But anyway, my center finger spark. Watching my enemies pulled up, they just park. And it's dark, put on my high beams to blind them. They don't know I'm right behind them. When I'm done, it will be so hard to find them. I'm looking for a change and I am changing for myself. I'm hoping this could be my time. I'm waiting for myself. I'm looking for a change and I am changing for myself. I'm hoping this could be my time. I'm waiting
I'm looking for a change and I am changing for myself. I'm hoping this could be my time. I'm waiting for myself. I'm looking for a change and I am changing for myself. I'm hoping this could be my time. I'm waiting for myself. I'm looking for a change and I am changing for myself. I'm hoping this could be my time. I'm waiting for myself.
And how simple is it for anyone to go online, answer typical life questions, and be given a psychiatric disorder? Here are some randomly chosen volunteers, people of all ages leading normal lives.
Do you feel sad, blue, unhappy, or down in the dumps? Sometimes.
I've had periods of great optimism and other periods of equally great pessimism. Yeah, that happens a little bit.
I get tired for no reason. Sometimes.
My life is pretty full. Nah, not really.
For no apparent reason, I sometimes have been very angry or hostile.
It's hard for me to concentrate on reading.
I am restless and can't keep still.
My heart beats faster than usual.
I have trouble sleeping, shortness of breath.
Gained weight.
Trembling hands.
I have an idea that most of these are going to be sometimes.
Everyone has.
As in everybody?
Somewhat.
Somewhat true.
Just a little.
Oh yeah.
Alright, my score totaled 42. Bipolar disorder, moderate to severe symptoms. Wow.
The answer reflects on the presence of depressive symptoms.
Currently suffering from an anxiety disorder.
I may be suffering from bipolar 1.
Minimal to mild depression.
An obsessive compulsive disorder.
Guess that means I'm a psycho.
Guess I'll go to the psych. Try to see if I could work it out, get some meds or something.
All told, 50% of these everyday people were assigned a psychiatric diagnosis and instructed to get treatment. By this measure, half of the U.S. population, some 150 million Americans, could be classified as mentally ill.
Now you have a direct line of consumers just walking in with a little pre-survey that says that they potentially can have bipolar, ADHD, stress, anxiety, any of those categories, and they just need to take this assessment tool and say, okay, that basically that is what you have, and here's your drug.
And psychiatrists are now clamoring to make such assessment tools mandatory. Take Teen Screen. Under the guise of a suicide prevention program, mental health tests are administered in the schools to diagnose and drug children. Children such as Chelsea Rhodes, who left for school one morning an average teenager and returned home with a psychiatric diagnosis.
The Rhodes family in Indiana, their young girl went to school one day, and all of a sudden they told her they were taking her into her room, and they move her into her room and give her the 10-minute Teen Screen test. And shortly after taking the test, she's pulled aside in the hallway and she's told she has two problems, basically two mental problems. One, obsessive compulsive disorder, and social anxiety disorder.
Her parents were stunned, dumbfounded. They didn't know that Teen Screen was going to screen their child. They had not been asked permission.
People at school had told her that she was mentally ill with these two conditions based off of a computer test that took her 10 minutes to answer. One of the questions was worded if Chelsea went out a lot. She answered no. We'd ask her why she answered that way. She said, because Mom, you and Dad don't allow us to go out on school nights. I have to be home to do my homework and take care of our household chores. The other question was, do you ever feel nervous or anxious when you're in front of a group of your friends or peers? Chelsea answered yes. She explained to us that because when she has to stand up in front of a group of people and give a book report in one of her classes, she's very nervous. You know, I'm 43 years old and I'm nervous in front of every one of you today, but that doesn't make me mentally ill.
I absolutely believe that the survey for TeenScreen was intentionally structured to flag as many children as possible as having a possible mental health problem.
And who created TeenScreen and wrote its survey? Dr. David Schaffer, a psychiatrist with extensive ties to the pharmaceutical industry. Schaffer's questionnaire is anything but scientific. In a study he himself conducted, Schaffer admitted that 84% of all students were falsely flagged as suicidal. But what was not admitted is how traumatic the consequences can be. Alea Gleason was only 11 years old when she took a screening test at her middle school in Texas.
It was 7th grade, and they had all the girls go into the cafeteria because they said that a lot of girls have depression, so they was working on some depression screen.
Next thing I know, there's those middle schools tell my husband now that CPS is there at the school taking Alea because she's suicidal.
I'm like, suicide? I'm not trying to kill myself. I love myself. I've always loved myself.
So I don't know if she was eating at the school or they'd already taken her away.
When they took Alea, my girls and I, we didn't sleep for about a good 3 days. For the first 3 days, because my house was empty without her.
And they was making me sign papers talking about if you don't take these medicines, you can't see your parents. So they was telling me, you know, if you take your medicine, you can see your parents.
My daughter was on 22 different types of medication that this one psychiatrist gave her.
They drugged me up so bad that they said they had to drag me. And I used to wonder how I got to my room.
When I saw for myself what they were giving her and how much and how often, I just thought, they're gonna kill this child. And the parents were helpless.
Then after a while, that's when I was just like, I'm not about to take no more medicine until I call my parents. And then that's when they was like, okay, well, we're gonna give it to you anyways. They restrained me and shot me up. I was in 4 points. They laid me out on my stomach and my feet like this and tied me up.
One day, they must have put her in about 12 restraints in one day.
They said I was restrained about 70 or 80 times. After a couple of months, they was like, you know, your parents don't want to see you. They don't want to talk to you or anything. So I was really hurt.
We tried everything. Nobody know. We didn't know what hospital. We didn't even know where they taking her.
After 2 weeks, you're supposed to hear, or you're supposed to be able to see your child. They didn't give me that. I didn't see Alea till 6 months later.
But I was a good child. I didn't deserve for that. And it messed up a lot of things. To this day, I still wish that I could just go back and be like, man, you know what, I'm not even gonna take the test.
I would always tell every parent I see, and they was asking me, don't do the team screening, because it will mess up your family.
Psychiatric screening programs such as these are fast on the rise. TeenScreen alone is currently screening hundreds of thousands of school children in over 500 American schools in 43 states.
Has nothing to do with helping kids, has nothing to do with mental health, has nothing to do with medicine. It has everything to do with the pushing of drugs.
So it presents itself as being a wonderful, altruistic program, whereas in fact, I believe its cold-blooded and cold-hearted intent is to recruit more children into the very subjective diagnoses of mental illness and to treat those kids with medication.
But the psychiatric drug push doesn't end in the classroom. Legislation has been put in place to screen all citizens for mental illness, including geriatric patients, war veterans, and pregnant mothers, all to be paid for by you.
Psychiatrists benefit from both ends, from the pharmaceutical end for being paid to write the prescription, and then from the patient for being there to receive the prescription.
It's an industry that cannot allow the human condition to go unmedicated, and I think this is where the problem begins.
If everybody considers themselves to be sick in some way or more than one way, and that the only control, the only hope for their happiness is to be on pills for the rest of their lives, that's the goal.
The pharmaceuticals and the psychiatric community are in a cleanup, and that's what it's all about. It has nothing to do with helping our kids or, their mental health. It's all about money.
Today, drug companies spend over $5.3 billion a year marketing prescription drugs, almost 9 times more than a decade earlier. The result? Worldwide sales of psychotropic drugs have soared to $80 billion. And all while psychiatrists willfully ignore the vast human tragedy they are creating.
Before I start, let me tell you that I'm not from round here. I'm from the Iowa, kids get high, can't swim, you drown here, the Wild West. Every day somebody's found face down here. Freedom snatch, moving pounds on greyhounds around here. Task force do shakedowns on playgrounds around here. Get stripped down, then shot down by your boys around here. Showdowns happen frequently on blocks around here. Oh snap, they pulling heat, slow down around here. These Cali streets get cold in Chi-Town around here. My heart goes out to crying, I'm breaking down around here. I swear this shit remind me of Jonestown around here. And ignorance can't find common ground around here. Time be flying like the speed of sound around here. And these wolves play the game like it's 4th down around here. Gunshots and sirens is background around here. Bloodhounds make touchdowns and battlegrounds around here. First of all, let me tell you that I'm not from round here. Half the music that you hearing's watered down around here. The underground is even turning upside down around here. Record labels giving nervous breakdowns around here. First of all, let me tell you that I'm not from round here. Half the music that you hear is watered down around here. The underground even turning upside down around here. Record labels giving nervous breakdowns around here. Disasters known for being about his cheese around here. Axe Russ, I bring you to your knees around here. Mobile strip clubs disguised as RVs around here. We slang jet skis, PCs, and CDs around here. Drive Humvees, Model Ts, and Capris around here. And when it's on, niggas swarm like killer bees around here. You can barely see the forest for the trees around here. And kids wanna be MCs, not MDs around here. Dogs got manes, they wish they had fleas around here. We start cars with screwdrivers with keys around here. LAPD grab your balls and squeeze around here. That's why the police die in 3s around here. We skip the A and alphabet, it's B's and C's around here. Grimy niggas with bald heads and goatees around here. The block's so hot, we need and it freeze around here. They don't speak it, but they tattoos Japanese around here. First of all, let me tell you that I'm not from round here. Half the music that you hearing's watered down around here. The underground is even turning upside down around here. Record labels giving nervous breakdowns around here. First of all, let me tell you that I'm not from round here. Half the music that you hear is watered down around here. The underground even turning upside down around here. Record labels giving nervous breakdowns around here. Most of these kids won't live to be 25 around here. Street soldiers said war trying to survive around here. No license, but they still drink and drive around here. Buzzing like you threw a brick at a beehive around here. Alaska at midnight is the vibe around here. Mentality is dire, stay alive around here. Homelessness.
Disaster.com. Disaster.com.
Disaster.